Old Master Chu was the tyrant of the village. Throughout his life, he cherished beautiful women more than life itself. Even though he was over 100 years old, he still demanded virgins every day. With his dozens of sons, he established a rule in the village. For any family that got a wife, the bride's first night had asterisk to be with Old Master Chu. Recently, my family was busy preparing for Uncle Three's wedding. Aunt Three, whose name was Tú Lan, was from the city, with big, round eyes, gentle and beautiful. Grandma stared at Aunt Three's bottom, unable to close her mouth from smiling. This one will surely give birth to 2 chubby boys. Our Chen ancestors will finally have an heir. But Grandpa frowned, smoking and flicking cigarette butts onto the ground. The village tyrant only made this rule 2 months ago, and he's already shamed several new brides. Tú Lan is a good girl. We must be extremely careful. We can't let that damn old man take advantage of her. Grandma asked Grandpa, "Dear, what do you plan to do?" Grandpa was a cautious man. After thinking for a while, he said, "This is no small matter. How about we offer them the old sow from our house, asking them to go easy on us?" Uncle Three heard this and shook his head furiously. "I don't agree. That sow is for the wedding feast. Why should we give it to him for free? A bunch of rotten shrimps and crabs. If they dare to cause trouble, I'll beat them to a pulp." Grandpa slapped his thigh and scolded Uncle Three. "Shut up. Even the village chief doesn't dare to cross them. What makes you think you're a hero? If we offend the village tyrant, our whole family won't have a moment's peace." Grandma quickly intervened. "Dear, don't get angry. Three is right, that sow is for our family's dignity. We can't just give it away." Grandpa glared at her. "Then what do you suggest?" Grandma replied. "In my opinion, our family would rather lose a little face. No firecrackers, no drums, we'll secretly marry her and bring her home, hidden from the village tyrant." Grandpa's eyes widened. "How can we do that?" "Old man Chen here has lived more than half his life, and what he values most is his reputation. If this gets out, our family will be the laughingstock of the entire village." Grandma also got agitated. "Is dignity more important, or is our daughter-in-law more important?" Grandpa fell silent, frowning at Uncle Three, then at Grandma. He threw the cigarette in his hand to the ground, gritting his teeth. "Damn it, fine, do it your way." And so, Uncle Three's wedding had no firecrackers, no band, no double happiness characters pasted, no red banners hung. It was incredibly quiet. Grandpa was so furious he stomped his foot, but there was nothing else he could do. Meeting the tyrant's family on the road, they leered and asked, "Uncle Chen, when are you bringing your bride home? We heard she's a city girl, very fresh and tender. Our old master has been looking forward to it." Grandpa could only force a smile. No money, no money. We haven't even gathered enough for the betrothal gifts." It was with great difficulty that the wedding day finally arrived. Uncle Three and Grandpa butchered the sow and only invited a few neighbors, sending no invitations to the village tyrant's family. The wedding feast was simple, but everyone knew it was to avoid the tyrant, so no one said anything. Grandpa told Uncle Three and Aunt Three to go around and offer wine. The neighbors praised Aunt Three's beauty, saying our family was truly blessed. After 3 rounds of wine, a sudden pounding on the door echoed from outside. Uncle Three was startled, thinking the village tyrant had arrived. He pressed his ear to the door and softly asked, "Who's there?" From outside, a hearty laugh replied, "Brother Three, it's me, Liu Scabby." Liu Scabby was the village beggar, usually disliked by everyone. "Brother Three, I heard you're getting married today. Open the door, I'll come in for a cup of celebratory wine." "Congratulations," Uncle Three said. "Get lost, what's my wedding got to do with you? Go beg somewhere else." After saying that, he was about to turn back inside. Just then, Grandpa came over and asked him, "Who was knocking?" Uncle Three snorted. "It's that beggar, Liu Scabby. He knew we had a wedding and wanted to scrounge some food, so I sent him away." Grandpa glared. "Fool, on a joyous day, who turns people away? And don't you know what kind of person Liu Scabby is? His mouth is like a megaphone. If you don't treat him well, he'll spread rumors all over the village, then what?" Uncle Three was stunned into silence. Grandpa quickly opened the door, and seeing Liu Scabby grinning outside, he invited him in, serving him meat and pouring him wine. He even made Uncle Three and Aunt Three offer him wine as an apology. Liu Scabby, awkward and reeking, had never seen a woman as beautiful as Aunt Three. He kept staring at her, leering. Uncle Three ignored him, suppressing his anger as he offered wine. They drank until noon, and everyone was drunk. Uncle Three was also drunk, so Aunt 3 and I helped him into the inner room to rest. Afterward, Aunt 3 went back to her room to change clothes. Grandpa and Grandma went to see off the guests, and I, little Izzy, was in the yard cleaning dishes. At this moment, I saw Liu Scabby stumble towards Aunt 3's door. He peered through the crack, his face full of lust. He was peeping at Aunt 3 changing clothes. I panicked and yelled, "Liu Scabby, what are you doing?" Liu Scabby ignored me, barged through the door, and rushed straight into the room. Aunt 3 quickly covered herself, screaming in fear, "Who let you in here? Get out!" Liu Scabby stared at Aunt 3, grinning. "Beautiful lady, your husband is dead drunk. He can't consummate the marriage with you. I've been kind since I was little, so today I'll take his place and make you happy." With that, he lunged and grabbed Aunt 3. Aunt 3 screamed in terror. "Little Izzy, Uncle 3, help me." I grabbed a stick and rushed in, swinging it hard at Liu Scabby's head. But Liu Scabby's head was truly hard. He wasn't hurt at all. "You little brat." He cursed, snatched the stick, and kicked me in the stomach, the pain forcing me to my knees. I clutched my stomach and ran to call Uncle 3, pulling him up from the bed, yelling loudly, "Uncle 3, Liu Scabby is being a hooligan, bullying Aunt 3. Uncle 3, who was still groggy, sobered up halfway upon hearing Liu Scabby's name. We two, uncle and nephew, burst into Aunt 3's room and pounced on Liu Scabby, beating him fiercely. Uncle 3 cursed loudly, "Damn it, you're tired of living. How dare you touch my wife? I'll beat you to death." Liu Scabby still dared to retort, "Such a delicious woman, it's a waste to let only you enjoy her. Let me have a taste first." Hearing this, Uncle 3 became even more enraged. Fueled by alcohol, he grabbed the scissors from the bed and plunged them violently into Liu Scabby's eye. Liu Scabby's agonizing scream echoed, deafening and agonizing. He clutched his eye and ran frantically out into the yard. Just then, Grandpa and Grandma arrived home and saw Liu Scabby's blood-soaked face. They froze in shock. "What's going on?" Liu Scabby shook off Grandpa's hand and yelled furiously, "Great, I came to offer congratulations, just played a little with the new bride, and your son dared to stab me with scissors. You just wait. I'm going to find Old Master Chu and tell him this exciting story." Grandma immediately understood what had happened. She frantically pulled Liu Scabby back and fell to her knees. "Brother Liu, no, you can't. My son was foolish. Please be magnanimous and don't hold it against him. We'll pay you any amount of money. This wedding absolutely cannot be known by Old Master Chu." Liu Scabby sneered, kicked Grandma, and yelled, "Now you realize your mistake? Too late." With that, he ran out the door. Uncle 3 stood in the middle of the yard, scissors in hand, dumbfounded. Grandpa rushed over, slapped him, and cursed, "You idiot, you've ruined the whole family." Grandma scrambled to her feet and dragged Uncle 3 into the kitchen. "Uncle 3, quickly gather some eggs and pork and come with me to apologize to Liu Scabby. If he hits you or curses you, just endure it. This matter absolutely cannot escalate." Uncle 3 trembled as he followed Grandma into the kitchen, but before they could finish gathering the eggs, Liu Scabby had already led a huge crowd of people storming into the house. We saw the scene and were scared stiff. We saw several fierce sons of the Chu family standing in the middle of the yard, and behind them, a group of young men were supporting the sick and frail Old Master Chu. Old Master Chu wore a long gown and a felt hat. Narrowing his squinty eyes, he rasped, "Where is the new bride? Bring her out for me to see." Looking at the crowd filling the yard, my whole family was terrified out of our wits. Liu Scabby, his eye bandaged, loudly clamored, "Old Master, look. This family married off a wife in complete silence without a word. They clearly don't respect you at all." The eldest son of the Chu family grabbed Grandpa's collar and spat a mouthful of saliva. "Uncle Chen, you dared to secretly hold a wedding?" His massive, crude presence made Grandpa tremble with fear. Before he could say anything, a mob of people rushed forward, pinning us to the ground. Uncle 3 tried to resist, but they were too many. They held him down and beat him. Grandma cried and pleaded, but they ignored her. "Stop hitting him. Uncle 3, apologize, say something nice." Uncle 3 wouldn't listen. Unable to fight back, he yelled curses instead. Hearing the commotion, villagers passing by all stopped at the gate to watch the spectacle. The two Chu sons, tired of beating him, ordered someone to tie Uncle 3 to a tree and asked him, "Do you know what the consequences are for secretly holding a wedding?" Uncle 3 spat at the eldest Chu son's face. "You pair of dog spawn." The eldest son wasn't even angry, he just said, "Strip him and find another pair of scissors." As these words came out, Uncle 3 immediately became terrified. "You, what are you going to do?" The eldest Chu son grinned sinisterly. Aunt 3, who had been hiding inside, saw the scene outside and rushed out. Unaware of the village rules, she pointed at the thugs and cursed them furiously. "Where did you hooligans come from? Daring to bully people in broad daylight. Get out or I'll call the police." Seeing Aunt 3, Old Master Chu, who had been listless, suddenly had his eyes light up. The new bride, quickly, help me over there." Grandpa took a deep, cold breath and yelled with all his might, "What are you doing out here? Get back inside." But before Aunt 3 could react, a group of young men swarmed forward and pushed her into the house. Uncle 3 was also frantic. "You sons of bitches, if you have a problem, aim it at me. Don't touch my wife." No sooner had he finished speaking than he received several slaps. He watched helplessly as Old Master Chu, drooling, was noisily helped into the room. Aunt 3's room door slammed shut. I heard Aunt 3's screams and the men's mocking laughter echoing from inside. Grandpa and Grandma squatted on the ground, trembling, not daring to make a sound. The villagers watching the spectacle also didn't come to help. Only Uncle 3 was still desperately struggling, tears streaming down his face as he cried and cursed Old Master Chu as a beast who wouldn't die a proper death. The young men in the yard heard him, grabbed sticks, and beat him until Uncle 3 fell unconscious, his head slumped against the tree, his face covered in blood. About half an hour later, the room gradually fell silent. The door opened, and Old Master Chu was helped out, trembling, his face flushed, his pants still unbuckled, stumbling as he walked. His sons quickly ran to support him. "Father, are you satisfied?" Old Master Chu's neck twitched several times, and he mumbled incessantly, "So good, so good." Before leaving, the eldest son of the Chu family glanced at Grandpa, sneering, "Today, the old master is happy, so he won't hold it against you. But if there's a next time, I'll drive your whole family out of the village." Grandpa bowed his head, not saying a word. It wasn't until they were far away that Grandpa slapped his thigh forcefully, closed his eyes tightly, and let out a long sigh. "Oh, our Chen family has lost all face this time." Grandma scrambled to her feet and reached out to untie Uncle 3. Uncle 3 was barely breathing, collapsing to the ground. Grandma embraced him, wailing, "Karma, this is karma." I had also been kicked several times by the thugs, and I staggered to my feet to check on Uncle 3. Uncle 3's lips trembled as if he wanted to say something. Grandma and I leaned in to hear him rasp, "Tú Lan, go check on Tú Lan." After saying that, Uncle 3 slumped his head to the ground, unconscious. Grandma was frantically calling for help when suddenly, from inside the room, there was a thud as something fell to the ground. "It's ruined, Tú Lan." Grandma's face changed drastically as she screamed at me, "Little Izzy, quickly go into the room and see how your aunt is." I nodded and with Grandpa rushed into the room. The room was pitch black. I only saw a slender figure hanging in midair, struggling a few times before becoming still. Aunt 3 had hanged herself. Grandpa and I hurriedly tried to save her. I supported Aunt 3's legs. Grandpa climbed onto the bed and untied the rope. After fumbling for a while, we finally got her down, but she had already stopped breathing. Grandma also ran in. "What happened? How is Tú Lan?" Grandpa, tears welling in his eyes, gritted his teeth and said, "Tú Lan took her own life. She's gone." Grandma took a deep, cold breath, plopped onto the ground, slapped her thigh, and began to wail miserably. "You beasts, you beasts!" Uncle 3 was severely injured, almost losing his life. Grandpa spent a lot of money to invite Master Wu, the village healer, and with great difficulty, managed to save Uncle 3's life. But when Uncle 3 heard the news of Aunt 3's death, he was overcome with extreme pain. His stitched wounds began to worsen, and he even spat out several mouthfuls of blood. Grandpa and Grandma were frantic with worry, fearing for his life. Grandma almost knelt, constantly pleading, "My son, keeping your life is the most important thing. Don't get agitated anymore." Uncle 3 lay on the bed, coughing up blood continuously, his eyes wide as he stared at the ceiling, gritting his teeth and saying, "If I don't get revenge for this, I swear I won't be human." Seeing that we couldn't persuade him, Master Wu, standing nearby, waved us out. "Let me give him some medicine, and let him get some sleep." Grandpa and Grandma thanked Master Wu profusely. Grandpa patted my shoulder. "Little Izzy, quickly follow Master Wu and help carry the herbal medicine." Master Wu brewed a strange-smelling decoction for Uncle 3. He tried to comfort Uncle 3, "Brother 3, life and death are fated. Suppress your grief." But Uncle 3 ignored him, mumbling incessantly, "They killed Tú Lan and made my family the laughingstock of the village. How can you tell me to swallow this anger?" Master Wu offered a few more words of advice, but to no avail. He then stood up, intending to leave to let Uncle 3 rest. But at this moment, Uncle Three grabbed Master Wu's sleeve, startling him. "Master Wu, can you help me?" Master Wu froze, frowning. "Brother Three, you're so angry you're losing your mind. I'm a doctor. Healing the sick is my specialty. I can't do anything about murder." But Uncle Three desperately refused to let go. He said, "Master Wu, others may not know, but I know very well. In your youth, you had great martial arts skills. Later, you were forced to become a village healer to escape your enemies. I can't defeat them, and I can't swallow this humiliation. If you don't help me, I don't want to live anymore. I'll bash my head and die right here." With that, Uncle Three gritted his teeth, intending to sit up. Master Wu quickly stopped him, sighing deeply. "Brother Three, why suffer so much? I've been retired from the martial world for a long time, no longer concerned with worldly affairs. I just want to live peacefully. Even if you know my identity, I cannot break my principles to help you. If you keep insisting, I won't treat this illness anymore." Saying this, he shook off Uncle Three's hand, put on his medicine box, and intended to leave. But one sentence from Uncle Three made him stop dead in his tracks. Uncle Three said, "Master Wu, if you're so heartless, then don't blame me for being unrighteous. I won't hide anything from you. I know who your enemy is, and I also know where he lives. In your youth, you made a grave mistake, one for which even being cut into 1,000 pieces wouldn't atone. If I can't get my revenge, you won't live in peace either." Then Uncle Three spoke a man's name. Master Wu's medicine box fell to the ground with a thud. He slowly turned around, his eyes filled with shock and anger. Uncle Three struggled to sit up, then knelt before him. "Master Wu, I am also desperate. Help me this one time, and in my next life I will be your ox or horse to repay you." Master Wu remained silent for a long time, his face chillingly cold. After a while, he slowly opened his mouth. "Since you've begged to this extent, I'll help you this once." Uncle Three's face lit up with joy, but Master Wu continued, "But for matters of murder and arson, I am powerless. I can only show you a path. You must go and seek help yourself. Whether you succeed or not depends on your own capability." Uncle Three quickly asked, "Tell me quickly, who should I seek help from?" Master Wu's voice was icy cold. "The underground magistrates." Uncle Three stared at him, seemingly not understanding what he was saying. "Master Wu, what do you mean?" Master Wu saw Uncle Three's confusion and narrowed his eyes. "Brother Three, have you heard of what goes around comes around?" Uncle Three shook his head. "I've never heard of it, and neither have I." Master Wu helped him lie back down and continued. "What is called what goes around, comes around is a type of underworld envoy, an official from the netherworld beneath the earth, specializing in helping people seek revenge. If you suffer injustice in the mortal realm, as long as you sincerely tell your grievances to him, he will help you avenge your grudges and take revenge." Uncle Three's face was full of disbelief. "Master Wu, don't fool me. Where do I find this what goes around comes around?" Master Wu looked at Uncle Three's expression, smiled, and said, "If you trust me, I'll tell you where it is." As he said this, a strange expression appeared on his face. I didn't know what he was plotting in his heart. Uncle Three seemed to believe him, nodding resolutely. "Master Wu, I trust you. Quickly tell me where it is. As long as I can get revenge, I'll be your ox or horse to repay you." Master Wu nodded and said, "Behind our village mountain, there is an abandoned temple. Inside the temple, there is a Headless Bodhisattva statue. That Headless Bodhisattva statue is a ghostly conduit for the underground magistrates to travel to the human world. On the 15th day of every lunar month, the magistrates will ascend to the mortal realm to observe. Wait until the full moon on the 15th, and at midnight when no one is around, go to that temple and recount your grievances to the Headless Bodhisattva. What goes around, comes around, will naturally come to help you. It's just..." Here, he suddenly swallowed the rest of his words. "Just what?" Uncle Three asked. He suddenly laughed loudly. "Nothing. Just do as I say, and the magistrates will naturally help you get revenge. But this matter is only known to you and me. If you dare to speak of it to anyone else, I will certainly make you suffer retribution." Uncle Three cried and nodded, thanking him incessantly. 2 months quickly passed, and Uncle Three's wounds were more than half healed. He could get out of bed and walk around. He secretly prepared some hell money and offerings, intending to follow Master Wu's path to that abandoned temple to see what would happen. He didn't tell Grandpa and Grandma about this, only me. "Little Izzy, our family has been tormented to this extent by that damned Old Master Chu. If we don't get revenge for this, you won't be able to avoid being bullied when you marry later. Can you come with me up the mountain tonight?" I understood Uncle Three's intention. Ever since I was born, the fortune teller said my fate was hard, first causing my mother's death and a few years later my father's. Uncle 3 asked me to come along to bolster his courage. He even sewed 2 new outfits for me. It had been a long time since I wore new clothes. I could only nod and agree with him. At midnight, Grandpa and Grandma were fast asleep. Uncle 3 and I carried the offerings up the mountain. The mountain path was pitch black, filled with trees and weeds everywhere. We almost got lost. We wandered for a long time before finally circling to the mountainside and finding the abandoned temple. Uncle 3 stood at the entrance, swallowing several times, then bowed his head a few times before we both stepped inside. The temple was dilapidated, covered in dust and cobwebs, looking as if it had been abandoned for a very long time. By the light of the moon, I saw on the stone altar behind the main table a stone statue sitting cross-legged, hands clasped, barefoot, with a bare neck where a head should be. This must be the Headless Bodhisattva. I stared at the stone statue, lost in thought, until Uncle 3 pressed my head down to kneel. Don't look around aimlessly, quickly burn the joss paper and kowtow. I took out the joss paper and burned it, arranged the offerings, and while kowtowing, listened to Uncle 3 mumble his prayers. Uncle 3 recounted our family's tragic story in detail. The Headless Bodhisattva statue remained motionless. After praying for a long time, Uncle 3 wiped away his tears. Little Izzy, do you think the magistrates heard what I said? I didn't say anything. I secretly thought, this stone statue has no head, no ears, how could it hear what Uncle 3 was saying? But we both continued to kowtow without stopping. I counted silently in my heart until the 99th kowtow. The moonlight vanished and the joss paper fire simultaneously flickered out. We both froze in place. I didn't dare to look up and Uncle 3 also didn't dare to make a sound. Behind the dark altar, something seemed to be moving. Rustle, rustle, it sounded like stone scraping against the ground. I suddenly looked up. Stone legs, a stone body, stone shoulders, all trembling continuously with the small, fragmented steps of the stone feet. Then, a massive object jumped down from the stone altar, walked in front of us and stopped. My spine went numb. At this moment, those stone feet were standing tall right before our eyes. The Headless Bodhisattva had come to life, but I didn't dare to look up anymore. I didn't know if a flesh and blood head had grown on the statue's neck at that moment. I lowered my head again and nudged Uncle 3 gently. Uncle 3, keep praying. Uncle 3 had also seen those feet, and his whole body was frozen with fear. I nudged him for a long time before he finally trembled and uttered a few incoherent sentences. After speaking a few sentences, he started to cry again. The stone feet remained motionless. After Uncle 3 had finished speaking, the moonlight and the joss paper fire suddenly flared up again, illuminating the entire room. There was nothing in front of us. That Headless Bodhisattva statue still sat silently on the stone altar. Uncle 3 pulled me and we ran frantically down the mountain. On the way, I kept feeling like something was right behind us, clinging closely. As soon as we got home, Uncle 3 threw his belongings aside and dove under the covers, trembling all over. That night, I also didn't sleep well, constantly having nightmares. I dreamt that Old Master Chu and his children were pounding on my room door, crying terribly like ghosts. Help, help, save us. Then, in the dream, a headless man appeared, grabbed them, and gnawed on them piece by piece until they were clean. The dream was too terrifying, startling me awake, my clothes drenched in cold sweat. Early the next morning, I told Uncle 3 about the dream. Uncle 3 stared at me, then froze for a long time, not daring to say a word. He muttered to himself, Master Wu hasn't come to bring medicine for several days. Could it be dark magic? He doesn't dare to come anymore. After saying that, Uncle 3 and I intended to go out and look for Master Wu. Just as we reached the gate, we heard someone in the alley shouting loudly, "Something terrible has happened. Someone's dead." We stopped the person and asked what had happened. The person, breathless from running, told us, "Something terrible has happened. There's been a murder at Old Master Chu's house. Old Master Chu and his entire family are all dead. Their bellies were cut open and their intestines pulled out. It's horrifying. Blood and flesh are splattered all over the yard." Uncle 3 heard this and almost collapsed to the ground. The other person still had to deliver the news, so he didn't look back and ran far away. I was soaked in cold sweat from fear. I turned to look at Uncle 3 and noticed that his previously terrified and bewildered face slowly transformed into a cold, deranged smile. The magistrates truly manifested and helped our family get revenge. With that, Uncle 3 couldn't contain his excitement and ran into the main house, shouting loudly, "Grandpa, Grandma, that old beast and his children are all dead. Tú Lan's revenge has been achieved. No one will bully our family anymore." Grandpa and Grandma put down what they were doing, stunned, listening with disbelieving expressions. The news of Old Master Chu's death spread throughout the village immediately. Some said he had committed many evil deeds, and this time, it was surely retribution. Some joyfully set off firecrackers in the village. A few families who had been shamed by them even stormed the tyrant's house, dragged Old Master Chu's body, and hung it on the big willow tree at the village entrance, whipping it. Uncle Three prepared more hell money and offerings, intending to go up the mountain to burn them for Tú Lan. "Tú Lan, this time you can rest in peace." But none of us expected that this matter would not end so easily. After burning the joss paper for Aunt Three, we returned home in the afternoon. As soon as I stepped through the door, I smelled a strong, rich aroma of meat. It turned out Master Wu had come to deliver medicine. Grandpa and Grandma were happy and grateful that he had saved Uncle Three's life, so they invited him to stay for dinner. As soon as Uncle Three saw him, he knelt down and thanked him profusely. Master Wu said nothing. Taking advantage of Grandpa and Grandma cooking, he called Uncle Three into the room and closed the door. I crouched under the window, eavesdropping on their conversation. Uncle Three said, "Master Wu, it's thanks to you that my family got our revenge. I'll never forget this kindness." Master Wu chuckled. "A small matter, a small matter." Uncle Three continued, "I've saved up some money. It's not much, but please don't scorn it, take it as payment." Master Wu coldly refused. "External things I dare not accept." Uncle Three was silent for a moment, then said, "Do you have something on your mind? I know. You're afraid I'll tell your enemy about you, aren't you? Rest assured, I'm tight-lipped. I'll keep this secret to my grave." Master Wu suddenly laughed heartily. "Of course I trust you, otherwise I wouldn't have shown you the path to revenge. It's just—" He hesitated, wanting to say more. Uncle Three pleaded earnestly, "Master Wu, whatever it is, just say it. I'll definitely help if I can." Master Wu's tone suddenly became somewhat secretive and cryptic. "Brother Three, actually, I didn't finish what I was saying that day. Do you know why that thing is called 'what goes around comes around'?" Uncle Three suddenly fell silent. Master Wu whispered, "A life for a life. The magistrates below all keep records. You borrowed their hands to eliminate more than a dozen lives. They must take your life to settle the debt. Now it's your turn to repay your life." Uncle Three's voice trembled. "Master Wu, I'm a coward, don't scare me." Master Wu said, "Do I look like I'm scaring you?" Uncle Three asked him, "You and I have no enmity, why would you harm me?" Master Wu laughed. "What are you talking about? When did I harm you? Didn't you insist on me helping you get revenge?" "I kindly helped you, you should be thanking me." Uncle Three raised his voice. "I think you did it on purpose. You're afraid I'll tell your enemy and you plotted to kill me. You're too cruel." Master Wu didn't defend himself, only sighed softly. "Brother Three, don't blame me, you brought this upon yourself. You know too much, and if you don't die, I won't be at ease. Have your last meal with your parents tonight properly. As soon as the hour of Zai strikes, you'll have to go down with the magistrates to repay your debt." Uncle Three heard this and collapsed to his knees, begging miserably. "Master Wu, I didn't mean to threaten you. Please be magnanimous, spare me this one time. You can chop off one of my arms or one of my legs, I don't want to die." Master Wu said, "It's too late, everything is too late." Uncle Three's voice suddenly turned fierce. "Then you die with me." Through the window, I saw Uncle Three lunge to choke Master Wu, but Master Wu stood still as if oblivious. Then, I don't know how, Uncle Three's hand, which was choking him, suddenly went limp and he collapsed to the ground. Master Wu gave a cold laugh. "Dying soon and still not at peace? Then get a good night's sleep." My head buzzed. Master Wu knew dark magic. I stood up intending to run, but as I turned, I bumped into someone. I thought it was Master Wu, and just as I was about to scream, a hand clamped over my mouth. Grandpa whispered, "Don't make a sound." Then Grandpa dragged me into the kitchen. Grandpa rummaged frantically in the kitchen. Grandma looked at him and snapped, "Old man, what are you doing?" Grandpa didn't answer. Finally, he pulled out a bottle of medicine from a drawer, took out some black powder from inside, and sprinkled it into a jar of wine. Grandma cried out, "What are you doing? That's rat poison." Grandpa glared at her, scaring her into silence. I stood by, watching Grandpa ladle the wine mixed with rat poison into a wine pot and hand it to me. "Take this to the main hall. Tonight, let Master Wu drink as much as he wants." I said nothing, understanding his intention in my heart. As darkness fell, Grandpa invited Master Wu to the main hall and poured him wine. "Uncle Three is still weak, he's taken his sleeping medicine, so we'll entertain Master Wu." With that, Grandpa raised his cup. "Master Wu, this old man offers you a toast. Without you, Uncle Three's life would not have been saved. Master Wu said, I've stopped drinking for many years. Grandpa replied, Today is a special thank you, you must drink this cup. Seeing that refusal was useless after several attempts, Master Wu relented. He picked up the cup, looked at it, then brought it to his nose to sniff, then looked at Grandpa's cup and asked, Why are our wines not the same? Grandpa said, The wine you're drinking is a fine wine this old man has kept for over 20 years, specially prepared for you today. My common folk can't drink it. With that, he let out a dry laugh. Master Wu feigned sudden understanding and also laughed. Uncle, I greatly appreciate your kindness. Unfortunately, my stomach has been weak since I was young, and this wine smells too strong. I'm afraid I can't enjoy it. How about we switch cups and I'll drink yours? Grandpa froze. Grandma's expression also changed. Grandpa stared at Master Wu for a few seconds, then immediately smiled again. How can that be? My wine is made from inferior grains and even diluted with water. How can I let a guest drink it? Master Wu, don't be so formal. If you don't drink, this old man will feel very guilty. Let this old man drink first. With that, Grandpa lifted his bowl of wine, almost about to drain his own bowl. But at this moment, Master Wu grabbed Grandpa's hand. Uncle, I really can't drink this fine wine. I only like to drink diluted wine. Please let me have yours. With that, he reached out to snatch Grandpa's bowl of wine. Grandpa quickly covered his bowl, his expression unchanged, his eyes narrowed. Master Wu, that's not being courteous at all. This old man is being kind, why do you disrespect me so? Are you afraid there's rat poison in the wine, afraid I'll poison you to death? As Grandpa finished speaking, the atmosphere in the room instantly became heavy. A cold wind blew in, making people shiver. Master Wu laughed loudly. Uncle, you're truly interesting. Your family are all good people, how could you poison me? But in the very next second, Master Wu's smile completely vanished. But I still want to taste your wine, even if it's poisoned, I must have a sip. Grandpa stared at him, then suddenly burst out laughing. Master Wu, our personalities are exactly alike, both stubborn. All right, since you crave my wine, let's switch. Master Wu took the bowl of wine from Grandpa's hand, his expression returning to normal. This old man will drink first. With that, Grandpa drank all the wine in his bowl in one go. Master Wu also drained his bowl. The two looked at each other and laughed loudly. My grandpa loved to talk when he drank, so he kept chatting with Master Wu about everything under the sun. After drinking 3 caddies of wine, Master Wu started to slur his words. He struggled to sit up straight, mumbling drowsily, Uncle, drinking with you is truly enjoyable, but it's getting dark, I must go home. It's not safe to travel too late. I didn't know if my grandpa was drunk yet. He narrowed his eyes and tightly held Master Wu's hand, refusing to let go. What's the rush? Let's have 2 more drinks. Master Wu continued to refuse. I can't drink anymore, I really must go. With that, he pushed my grandpa's hand away and slid his shoes onto the ground beside the bed. My grandpa didn't get up or say anything, just stared at him as he walked towards the door. As one foot stepped out of the main house, he suddenly turned his head back, completely sober, and said, I've lived so many years, what storms haven't I weathered? Trying to harm me? No chance. After saying that, he started to cackle. My grandpa still said nothing, but before Master Wu could laugh for more than a few seconds, black blood suddenly gushed from his mouth. My grandpa's eyes were cold and he growled, Tonight, Master, you're not going anywhere. With that, Master Wu collapsed to the ground. He looked at my grandpa with disbelief. Why? Clearly, your asterisk bowl of wine was poisoned. I don't understand. Old man, you dared to trick me. After saying that, he spat out a large pool of black blood and fell unconscious. My grandpa quickly shouted to Grandma, Quick, strip him and change his clothes with Uncle Three. It's almost the hour of Zai, any later and it will be too late. Just now, my grandpa had been standing behind me, so he had overheard the conversation between Uncle Three and Master Wu. He knew the true cause of death for Old Master Chu's entire family, and he also knew that Uncle Three had accidentally let slip information and was being plotted against by Master Wu. But to save Uncle Three's life, my grandpa could only think of this one way, exchanging Master Wu's life for Uncle Three's. The 3 of us carried Master Wu and rushed into Uncle Three's room. Uncle Three was still in a coma after taking the medicine. Grandma and I clumsily swapped their clothes and then hid Uncle Three in the vegetable cellar. My grandpa then found 3 incense sticks and joss paper, burning them right in front of Uncle Three's room. He mumbled continuously, Every grievance has its source, every debt has its owner. The person you are looking for is in this house. By no means go the wrong way. Next, my grandpa instructed me not to sleep tonight, but to guard the cellar door. I have a strong fate. Even ghosts and deities must be wary of me. If I guard Uncle 3, no one will dare to come near. Grandma, fearing I would be cold, dressed me in 3 layers of padded jackets. Then, the 2 of them hid in the main house, leaving me alone in the middle of the yard. The cold wind made me shiver. By the hour of Zai, I was already feeling drowsy. Just then, I suddenly heard footsteps echoing from the alley. They were deep, very heavy, not like a living person, but more like the Headless Bodhisattva I had encountered at the abandoned temple the other day. Thinking of this, I shuddered. The next second, the courtyard gate rattled violently. I quickly dove into a pile of firewood, eyes fixed on the gate, not daring to let my guard down for a moment. The gate was pushed open, and a headless stone statue stepped with heavy strides into the courtyard. I was so scared I didn't dare to breathe heavily, watching helplessly as the stone statue walked around the courtyard, constantly searching for something. Then it spotted the incense ashes on the ground and strode into Uncle 3's room. I heard cracking sounds from inside the room, crack, crack, like the sound of chewing bones and swallowing flesh, making my whole body numb. A moment later, the stone statue walked out of the room. Just one glance at it and I almost lost my soul. I saw that its body was covered in blood, and on its neck, a flesh and blood human head had grown Master Wu's head. The head swayed back and forth. When it glanced at me, it displayed a grotesque smile. I was momentarily stunned and about to scream, but the stone statue vanished without a trace, leaving only a trail of footprints pressed into the layer of incense ashes on the ground. It had truly taken Master Wu. By noon the next day, Uncle 3 finally woke up. He didn't know what had happened, only saw our relieved expressions, as if a great burden had been lifted. Grandma cooked soup and fed Uncle 3 several bowls. Once he had warmed up, Grandpa recounted everything to him. Uncle 3 was drenched in cold sweat from fear upon hearing it. Seeing that it was already late afternoon, Grandpa told Grandma to pack some clothes and instructed Uncle 3, "Even though we tricked that thing, your father still feels uneasy. To ensure complete safety, you should go to the city and stay at your second uncle's house for a few days. Wait until this period passes before coming back." Uncle 3 dared not delay. He packed his satchel and went with Grandma to the bus stop. Grandma and I watched with our own eyes as Uncle 3 boarded the bus before we felt reassured enough to return home. But not until the next morning did second uncle call, saying Uncle 3 had not yet arrived. It was then that we realized something was amiss. Grandpa quickly found a tricycle and took us along the road to inquire. Later, we learned that the bus had been in an accident on the way. But the eerie thing was that everyone, including the driver and all the passengers, were safe and unharmed. Only Uncle 3 was found with his head severed from his neck, dead on the spot. To this day, his head has not been found. Later, when the village was renovated, that abandoned temple was also scheduled for demolition, but strangely, the Headless Bodhisattva statue inside had disappeared. The villagers all said the statue was very sacred and had gone to avoid disaster, not knowing which abandoned house it found to hide in. But a children's rhyme circulated in the village: "Desolate sky, desolate earth. The Headless Bodhisattva resides in Dong Liuang, suffering thousands of prayers. Avenging grievances, boundless virtue." The story ends.